Ladies and gentlemen, gender neutral and gender chaotic, how is it going? Today we're going to be doing a little different kind of video I've never done before, but I just bought the Blue Yeti X microphone, so my sound quality, if you watch any of my other videos, has just gotten immensely better. I was recording with my phone thinking, it's not that big of a difference. It's a huge difference. It's embarrassing how my other videos sound now to me. Hopefully in like 10 years when I buy a better microphone than this, it doesn't sound the same way, the same horribleness that it sounded listening to my old videos after getting this microphone. But I just kind of wanted to display the sound quality, and just for anybody that's thinking about purchasing one, because it's a great sound quality for the price. It's only about $170 I think on eBay on Amazon, and for the price, it is a great microphone. I'm sure if you bought a $1,000 microphone, it'd be that much better, but this one, it works, and it's been recommended on a lot of forums and everything. So after reading the reviews and seeing people talk about it, I decided to get one, and it was not without its issues. So the first issue I had was I record in Bandicam, and the microphone, when I plugged it in at first, worked perfectly fine. Everything was crisp and clear sounding. You can actually test it if you go into sound settings, and this will come in later with what I wanted to talk about. But if you right click on your sound icon down here and pop up settings and go to recording, you'll see the Yeti microphone if it's plugged in, and then you go to right click on that in properties, and this will pull up this screen. If you click on the listen tab, there's a little option right here to click that says listen to this device. If you click that, it's going to let you hear your microphone. You want to click that and then click apply, and then you'll hear yourself talking. And when I did this, it sounded perfectly crisp and clear. Everything was great. So I was like, oh, cool, it's working. I wasn't planning on recording that day, so I let it go until my day off of work. And over the weekend, I decided to try to record some stuff. Everything seemed like it was recording perfectly, and it was fine. There's a little icon that'll pop up when you're recording on Bandicam that lets you know that you're recording. When I did this, it seemed to work. Problem, when I went to go review the video later, I saw that after 10 seconds to a minute, depending on when I tried it several times, it would always stop recording the audio and the video. This concerned me. I could not get a video to record more than 1 minute. And I tried several things. I looked up forum posts and everything, and I even tried recording just in Audacity, and that didn't work either. Everything was causing it to stop, and then I'd have to unplug the microphone, replug it back in just to get it to start working again. Everything was messed up. So after spending about 12 hours straight, I'm talking all day long, I could not figure out what the issue was. Eventually, I tried plugging it into a USB 3 port instead of the USB 2, which I don't think was recommended. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like, if you're not familiar, I know some people might stumble upon this video and not be very computer savvy. If you have a USB port on your computer, it'll usually look like this, like the blue inside, and the other ones are USB 2. The only difference should be the speed on those. Some things are not compatible with 3, so that's why it wouldn't really make a difference. It shouldn't really make that much of a difference as far as I know. But for some reason, when I plugged it into 3, that problem was solved. It did not stop recording anymore after that. But then a new problem arose. When I plugged it into USB 3, it would make a popping sound and have like crackling and stuff that was really noticeable and horrible. And I just couldn't deal with that either. So after doing some research on that, I saw a lot of posts about it. No real solid answers seemed to pop up, and I tried the little things that I did see, and those didn't work. Could not figure out what it was. I did see a couple people say if you bought a powered USB hub, that it would solve the issue. So late that night, I decided I'm just going to bite the bullet and buy one of those. I found a cheap one on Amazon. I'll show you that. And crap, I lost it. So let's just look it up right here. Powered USB 2. I did the USB 2 because I wasn't sure if the USB 3 would give me issues. And I think I went with, yes, it's this one right here. The Buy Easy. It seems like it's made cheap, I don't know. But this did solve my issue, but not without some problems at first. So basically what this is it plugs into the wall, and then from the hub that you see right here, it'll plug into your PC. And then it has 7 ports on the outside. All these ports that you see are things that you can plug. They're ports that you can plug things into that use USB. So I plugged in my microphone to this hub, and then this hub into the wall, and this hub into the PC. That seemed to fix the issue of it stopping recording even on USB 2. Even when the hub was plugged into USB 2, it still worked. And that's because the power is coming from your outlet and not your PC. So something in my PC was causing it to not get the correct amount of power or something. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I don't know anything about anything, but I just know what I tried and what worked. So this did solve the problem, but then the popping came even when I was plugged into USB 2. So now I still had that popping issue, and that was really frustrating. So I want to also I should have had this pulled up already. Okay, so if you look at one of these, a power strip, this is kind of what I have set up for my PC. Just a plain power supply unit, and that's what most things are plugged into, except for my PC is plugged in directly to the wall. But I decided to plug the USB hub into this, and that was the culprit, it seems. Soon as I got rid of that, it started working fine. Another thing I did before I tried this even is I went into settings. So I'm just showing you kind of things that you might want to try. So sound settings, and right back into the recording mode, or microphone. And you click on advanced. In here you can set this to 48 kilohertz or 44.1. Now it was set on 48 automatically, and I switched it to 44.1 and then tried that. That still gave me the popping sounds, but then I went into Bandicam and I changed the settings for the audio, and I changed that to match 44.1, and that did fix the popping sounds when plugged into the USB hub. But then I tried, I wanted to move the positioning of it, so I tried plugging it into just a extension cord that's also on the other side of the room, and then the popping sound came back. So I was like, I wonder if the popping sound had something to do with the fact that it was plugged into the power supply and not directly into the wall. When I plugged into the wall, I was able to run it on 48 kilohertz on both things. So that seemed to solve the problem. So if you buy a USB hub, make sure you plug it into the wall when you test it. And then if that works, if you want to plug it into something else, give it a shot. See if any problems come up. For me, it did. For you, maybe it's different. I'm sure these things seem like they're very finicky, and one little thing can completely screw them up. And then, so that's pretty much how I got it working. And then if you go into, so I want to show you it comes with some software. Well, you can download some software for it. Let's go down here. So if you go all the way down to the bottom, I'm just on the blue mic page. You can see right here, it says download G-Hub. You click that, download, install that, the normal kind of thing. And I did that because it said right here, USB 1, 2, 3, and then 3 has a little asterisk by it. It says requires download and installation of Logitech G-Hub. I did install that. It doesn't say you have to do anything, and there's not really any options. When you load it up, you're on this screen. Didn't really see much on here to do with USB 3, and it didn't seem to affect anything. When I did that, I still got the popping sound that I had before. So you might want to try that too. I don't know if that works for some people. Didn't work for me. But if you click on the microphone, you get all these like nice little settings that you can use. And this is basically presets to make your sound output different while recording. So if you click up here, you can record. If you click on this, you can record like a few seconds of your voice. And then when you hit play, this records a few seconds of your voice to test your sound output. And then when you hit play, it's just going to loop that sound. This records a few seconds of your voice to test your sound output. So that's going to go ahead and play your voice over and over again. And then you can adjust these settings right here. I'm actually going to... This is another thing. I don't mean to jump around so much, but I just remembered this. If you want to change where the output's going, because the Yeti X does have a option to plug in headphones, which I'm using right now, and I completely forgot that it wasn't on my headphones. So you can choose what you want the output to be. If you click Speakers Yeti, that's going to output all the sound from your PC into your headphones on the microphone. So you can hear everything in your voice all at once. You can adjust all the levels on the microphone. I'm sure there's tutorials on how to do all that. So then I messed around with some of these settings down here, some of these presets. I didn't really find anything that matched what I wanted to sound like. So I went in here to browse more presets. And this has just a list of things that people have uploaded online to make your sound different, different settings. And for one, if you click the download button to download the file, for me, it did not work. It said download failed. I looked it up. Other people had this issue. And what solves that is to go up here. I think this was like a little blue circle before I did this. So it'll probably look like a little blue circle. You click on that. And right here, it'll say something like choose a name for your profile or something like that. Something generic. And you'll want to click on that, type in a name. And for some reason, you have to do that to download the file, or at least I did, or it wouldn't let me download anything. And it didn't have any warning saying to do that or whatever. So that was something a little annoying. And then for the Yeti X, I just clicked the Yeti X. All these other ones seem to be for other recording devices, and they won't work. It won't even show up for the Yeti. And then I went to over here, most downloaded. And so the profile that I'm using is a copy of this one, Streamer Voice by Juice. It's the second highest one. I tried this highest one and it didn't really vibe with what I wanted it to sound like. A lot of these have like a high bass to them, or it makes you sound like you're like down a well or something. I don't know how to explain it. It makes you sound like your voice is just booming a little too much. And it doesn't sound that clear. So I didn't want that. I tried the Streamer Voice one and it was pretty close to what I wanted. I think I changed a little bit. I don't even know if you can really tell the difference. So this is the original. This is what this sounds like. Sounds pretty good still, but there's just something a little off about it. And then you go to this one and I feel like that's just more the sound that I was looking for. And a lot of these settings are really nice for, like I have a really loud computer fan. I think it's like going out. It's probably going bad, but it can get pretty loud sometimes, and it really doesn't pick up when you have these settings on. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll show you what it sounds like with no filter whatsoever. So now it sounds like this. And even in my microphone, in my headphones, I can still hear the computer fan a little bit in the background. That like low static sound. I don't know if it'll pick up. So the microphone still sounds good with no filters, but if you want it to sound just a little bit nicer, you'll probably want to click those settings. It kind of just drowns out the background and it just pops your voice out a lot more, I feel like. So That's really, really nice settings to download right there. You can play around with the lighting and stuff like that, but I kind of just wanted to go over the voice stuff. You can play around with the headphones if you want. And another thing is you probably want to turn down the gain on the microphone pretty low. Otherwise, it's going to pick up some more background noise. But then when you record your sound, it's going to have a low volume. So the way that I get around that is I post process it. So you can do that in multiple different ways. You can do that at the very end in your editing software. I use Premiere, which is a very expensive option, but if you're editing your videos anyway or whatever, you can adjust the gain on any of these audio files. Just right click on it, hit audio gain, and then you can set the level up here, or you can adjust it. Like if you type 6, it'll pop it up 6 decibels. If you set it right here, it'll set it at whatever. This increments it basically, and this sets it. So however you want to do that. But this is the best way to adjust it to me to get the levels that I want, because you can hear the game audio or the video audio plus your audio, your voice audio together, and kind of figure out what levels you want to set at. But another program I use is Audacity, and I'll show you why. A lot of this is probably beginner stuff for a lot of people, but if you don't know, this is a lifesaver. So Audacity is a free program. It does a lot of cool stuff. It's pretty much all you need if you're going to be just quick editing sound files. So I'm going to play this one, and this is just show you like the level. This is just pure recording on Audacity. It just kind of shows you the levels of how loud and quiet things can get. Audacity sound check. Quiet volume. And loud volume. And quiet volume. It still sounds like it's coming from my PC too. Oh, I don't have it set. Also in Audacity, you have to set where the sound's coming out to sometimes. So that's a little bit annoying, but a quick edit. Something in Audacity while I was recording this video triggered the popping sound again. So you'll be able to hear it in the following. While I'm messing around in Audacity, you can hear like the pop, pop, pop every once in a while. Pretty obvious what it is. And that's what it was doing for every recording before I bought the powered USB hub. I'm guessing that the culprit is probably this setting right here where it says project rate, and it's set at 44.1. You can adjust it to 48. Like you see, I'm have Audacity open right now, and it's not reproducing that effect. So I'm not really sure what it is, but a lot of this popping sound stuff seems like it's just a setting somewhere. I'm not 100% sure why it's doing in Audacity, but I know it doesn't do it in the other things. And if I just record in Audacity, it doesn't seem to be there normally. So something with Bandicam and Audacity maybe is messing with it. But I didn't want to go too much into that, but I just wanted to explain why the popping sound comes back in the video when I said it was fixed. And then also the Audacity recording drops out when I change the output from the TV to the microphone. So I had to edit back in those recordings. So that's why the sound may look a little off on the screen compared to with what you hear. You can hear Audacity sound check, quiet volume, and loud volume, and quiet volume. So you can hear the loudness and the quietness, very distinct, very separate. If you click on effect and go to compressor and just hit enter on that, you can change the levels if you know what you're doing, or if you just want to try stuff. But if you just click on OK, usually does a pretty good job of kind of balancing those out. So now if you listen to it, Audacity sound check, quiet volume, and loud volume, and quiet volume. So it kind of the high, like, have you ever watched a movie and like the loud parts are super loud, but then you get to the quiet parts and you have to turn your TV up to like 200% and you can just still barely make out what they're saying. Like that kind of fixes that issue on your microphone recordings. So you don't have that like really loud, annoying part where people's, ears just popped, and then a really quiet part where they're like, I have to turn this up, and then it gets loud again, putting their volumes up, and it's annoying. And then after you compress it, you can do amplify, and that'll kind of pop the volume back up to a reasonable level. Like so. Audacity sound check. Quiet volume. And loud volume. And quiet volume. So now you can hear everything. The loud parts are a little toned down, so it's not as bad. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better. And then usually when I record a video, I go over it twice. I do the compressor, amplify, compressor, and then amplify again. And that seems to make it. Audacity sound check. Quiet volume. And loud volume. And quiet volume. That seems to even things out a lot more for me. So that's just kind of what I do for each video to make it sound, a little easier to listen to, basically. So yeah, I hope you like the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I think I covered everything that I was trying to do. I just wanted to basically, go over what it sounds like for one, show people this is what quality you can come to expect if you spend the money on this microphone. To me, I think it's a winner. It sounds great. I'm perfectly happy with the purchase. And now that I have all the bugs figured out, the freaking time I wasted trying to figure those out was just something I did not expect and did not want to happen, and very, very upset that did happen, because I waste like 2 days off, and my days off are precious. I could have been recording videos, but instead I was stuck, Google searching for 400 hours on how to try to fix stuff. But yeah, like I said, got all those bugs worked out. There are some forum posts that are sort of helpful and may have other ideas if you can't figure out exactly what your problem is, and nothing that I said makes a difference on it. But for the most part, I think that should solve your issue. I know spending the money on a powered USB hub is probably not something you want to do after you bought a brand new microphone, but it could help. And if it fixes your problem, sometimes it's worth it. I mean, it was only $18, so to me, that money is well spent if I got everything working the way I wanted to. Hope you liked the video. Come back in the next one and have a great day.